Hey guys, this is Ray the Messenger, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you about how you can stop putting people on the pedestal. Now let's get right into the video. So the first part of this video I'm going to talk about the reason you are actually putting these people up there on the goddamn pedestal. So what I've realized also in my own past when I was putting other people above me on a certain pedestal, the main reason I was doing that, and maybe you are doing that right now, is that you feel less than these people. So it's mainly a self-esteem issue. It's not really about what these people have done, it's mainly about what you feel you didn't have done, if that makes any sense to you. It's your inadequacies, and you're projecting your own inadequacies to everybody else, especially the more people you put on a pedestal. I know for me back in the day, I was putting everybody else on a pedestal. It didn't matter if they were successful or they didn't have something that I wanted. It didn't matter. Even if they were overweight, I would find a certain reason why this person was better than me and why they're above me on a certain pedestal. And this was really dysfunctional for me back in the day. What you need to realize is that in the end of the day, if you strip everything down, everybody is still the same and they're human. Okay, maybe this one person has done some other things than you did. Okay, fair enough. But that doesn't warrant the reason that you actually put them above. And I will tell you a little secret. Like, if you put these people on a certain pedestal, nobody likes to talk to people who are like their inferiors, who are trying to suck up to them. Nobody likes that. Yeah, they will maybe talk to you, they will entertain you, try to get something out of you, but in the end of the day, they will not respect you. Because how can I respect somebody if they're putting me so up there on a pedestal and I know in the end of the day I'm human? Listen, the other people, they're not some kind of weird god, right? They're not some kind of individual with superpowers, and they're just a normal human like you and me. And the moment you realize, hey, I'm actually just a human, and the reason that you are feeling so bad about yourself is that you need to work on your self-esteem. This is the thing you should working on yourself, right? You shouldn't be looking towards other people. You should be working on yourself and asking yourself, what do I need to do to stop putting these people on a pedestal and start respecting myself? Because when you put other people on a pedestal and not yourself, you're indirectly disrespecting yourself. Because how can you say that these people are above you in some kind of weird order inside of your mind? Just because they have something that you don't have doesn't make them better than you are. Like my mentor, for example, told me one time, he said something in the terms of everybody's just cooking with water. They're not doing some magical stuff. They're not doing some crazy things that you have never seen before. Yeah, they do certain things that work for them in order to get the results they have. But in the end of the day, they're still just a human like you and I. So you have to ask yourself, what do I need to work on in order to stop putting these people up there? And the main thing that worked for me back in the day is asking myself, where do I actually want to go in life? What are my own goals? What is really important to me? And when you're clear cut about your own goals, then you need to write them down. If you have nothing written down, then you're just walking through life blindly. If you don't know where you're going, then you're in the middle of nowhere. Think about it like this. If you're sitting in a car and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to drive somewhere, and you have like a navigation system, and you just tell the navigation system, you know what, I'm just going to drive anywhere. And navigation system will be like, okay, great, sure. And then you just drive around and all of a sudden you're in some kind of desert. Congratulations, you put yourself in a desert. So that's not how you go there about life. You cannot just sit there and be driving around and be forced by other forces. I will give you another example. Let's imagine you're inside of that car, you're just driving around, and then just some random person standing on the street, and he's just like, hey, can you stop a little bit for me? And then you're like, okay, I'm going to stop for this person because I'm just going anywhere, so why not even talk to this random dude, right? So you open up the car, you talk to this random dude, and he tells you, oh my god, man, like, you know what I've seen? And you will be like, no, what did you see? He's like, if you drive like 300 miles over there and take a right, there's like a fountain of gold. And then you're like, oh my god, there's a fountain of gold. And then because you're listening to these random people on the street, you're just driving around to the fountain. And if you take that metaphor and apply it to real life, it's some people come into your life and they just tell you, oh, you need to do this, this, and that. And without questioning them and asking yourself, why did they say that? You're just putting them on a pedestal and just being like, because he says it, it must be true. Because, I don't know, maybe he has a suit, maybe he has a nice suit, maybe he has like a nice Rolex, even though it's fake. Because I can tell you, most people wearing those watches, it's fake. Just so you know, just so you realize. Most people out there, they're not what you expect them to be. They're not, like, they're putting out there their best selves most of the time. Especially if you look on Instagram, right? That's also a big thing. Instagram and TikTok and all these social media platforms, they make it even worse. They're making putting people on pedestals even easier, and it will put you into that system. Because when you go into Instagram or stuff like that, you just open up the pictures and people have curated these photos. Everybody is only putting the best photos in there. If I've been to some kind of vacation, maybe in Hawaii or Bali, of course I'm going to take those nice pictures, nice angles. I'm just going to take a photographer, nice angles, nice light. I'm going to give it to like my own professional video editor. Maybe I'm letting them edit it, and boom, there it is. And then you're looking at that and be like, oh my god, yeah, this guy Ray, he's like so awesome. He's so much above me. And if you truly look at it, it's just because you see one picture doesn't mean that the person is like so much above you. And even if they would live that lifestyle on a certain amount of basis, that still wouldn't put them above you, because you still have your own value. And and you need to create that value for your own self in the end of the day. Because as much as you can sit there and be like, oh yeah, we as humans, we're all equal, yeah, that's actually true, but there's a big difference inside of the value that is being put out by certain individuals. Let me explain. So if you're sitting there and just eating McDonald's every single day, watching video games, like playing video games, watching TV, right, sitting there wasting your life away, you are actually not creating value inside of this world. You're probably making the world a worse place, because you are not getting out there and putting your gifts out there, putting your talents out there. So you're robbing the world of your own talents. So you're creating mostly a negative impact. So and if there's somebody out there who's out there working, grinding, putting the work in, making other people better, learning from their mistakes, these people will, in the end of the day, will get rewarded for the value that they put into the marketplace. This is at least the reality we live in the Western society. This is a capitalistic marketplace, and when you provide the highest amount of value, then you can also feel better about yourself. When you're out there doing great stuff for your health, for example, this doesn't have to be about just only creating value in the marketplace, but this can also be about improving your own health. When you're going out there and creating healthy lifestyle choices for your own self, you're doing yourself a favor, and you're starting to gain that self-respect. I've never met somebody, listen, 100%, I personally have never met somebody who goes to the gym regularly and they're depressed. I've never seen that person. Yeah, probably. Are there some people who are like that? For sure, they probably exist. But most of the time, when I see people that work hard in the gym, have a nice body, most of the time they really like themselves. Like, there are some exceptions, of course, with like narcissistic bodybuilders and stuff like that are extremely insecure deep down. But for most people that I've seen that are in really good shape, they really like themselves, and they have increased self-esteem and self-worth because they have worked with themselves. If you haven't worked and haven't done nothing for your own self, how can you ever respect yourself? And then, of course, if you deep down in your subconscious mind, you know, hey man, I didn't actually do anything in my own life for my own self, for my own success, for my own goals, then you will be like, of course, you have no self-respect. How can you get that self-respect if you haven't done nothing? That self-respect has to be earned. It is not given. You can respect yourself as a human being, but in the end of the day, it is about the value that you provide if you want to feel better about yourself. That's for what I've realized for my own self. Maybe for you it's different. Hey, listen, maybe you can go to the woods, sit down on a wooden bench, meditate for like 10 hours, and then you turn into a sage. I don't know, maybe that works for you. For me, it didn't work out. That's not the way it works for me. I had to put the work in, improve myself, work on my health, and that's how I started putting people less and less on pedestals. Because even if you start talking to more and more of these people that you put on a pedestal, quote unquote, even like, let's say it's just about some pretty women, right? Or maybe it's about the other person that has massive success. If you're in there and you have actually talked to these people, if you actually talk to them, you realize they're just humans. They're just humans like you and I. Because you've never talked to them, you're believing, oh my god, these are some like mythical beings. They have like some kind of superpowers above me, and the reality is they don't. And if you treat them, especially if you treat them like they're some kind of superior being, they will not like you, because that's the way that most people treat them. If they're on a certain kind of pedestal, a certain level, then that's how they get treated, and they will not respect you because they realize you're just some kind of other bum, like there are 100 other bums, right? So if you want to really get to know these people, you need to talk to them, and you don't even need to hang out with them all the time, but you need to realize these people, just like you and I, but they've did different things. They've taken some different steps in order to get to a certain kind of way, even if it's about talking about health. If you're sitting there and you have a nice body and a healthy body, that's because you're not eating junk food every day. That's my opinion on this whole topic. Yeah, if you heard this video, and I hope it triggered something inside of you, that you need to write down your goals and start working on your own self-esteem and start putting people on pedestals, because in the end of the day, you will get no advantage from it. I hope this video is helpful for you. I will see you in my next video. Put a like on this, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.